All right, now with COVID infection numbers dropping earlier, much of across the board in European Union as well, now they're looking and daring to look, if one can call it that, beyond the pandemic. What can and will be done to help the economies of this place also bounce back from the fallout of the pandemic? Well, there are things starting to move, and in order to understand that, let's go across to DW reporter Nicole Frolich to understand more on this issue. Nicole, thanks so much for speaking with NDTV. Now, the EU chief has been touring member states, green-lighting national COVID recovery plans as well. What do you think will be the post-pandemic investment focus be on?
Well, the EU itself says that this is more than a recovery plan, that it's a historic chance to sustainably transform our economies to help them emerge stronger from the pandemic. And that is something they're willing to spend 750 billion euros on. The aim is to make European states greener, more digital, and more resilient towards future challenges of this magnitude. Over the past months, almost all member states have been presenting their national plans. And this week, we're seeing EU Commission President Ursula von der Leyen shake a lot of hands and congratulate a lot of leaders on their proposals. After approval, the different states will receive a first payment to help them kickstart the recovery. This is all being done with a lot of fanfare, not only because this is, along with the EU's long-term budget, the largest stimulus package ever financed in Europe, but also because the EU is going through a bit of an image crisis. A recent poll revealed that based on its handling of the pandemic, large parts of Europeans regard the EU project as broken.
Fascinating there. So, meanwhile, while all of that is happening, the EU has decided to extend the vaccine export controls as well. What more can you tell us about that?
The mechanism was initially set to expire at the end of June, but has now been extended until at least the end of September. That means that the EU will continue to be able to stop pharmaceutical companies from exporting vaccines to non-member states if they haven't met their supply commitments with the EU. So far, the mechanism was triggered only once, back in March, to block 250,000 doses of AstraZeneca from being shipped to Australia. The EU's vaccination drive has since picked up pace. Supplies are coming in more smoothly, so there hasn't really been the necessity to fall back on such drastic moves that can, after all, have dramatic diplomatic consequences. But with this extension, the EU makes two things very clear: that they don't see themselves as out of the woods just yet, and that they want to keep all their options wide open to make sure they meet their goal of inoculating at least 70% of the EU's adult population by the end of the summer.